Hello, everybody, and welcome along to the F2 finale for URS. The final race of 2022 and the final time before we start Season 4. Welcome along. I'm your commentator, Ryan Ocon31, and today we have many drivers and teams in contention for what looks to be a champion. A champion of F2, a champion of the year, whatever you want to call it, because you know what? It ends off 2022, it ends off racing for the year, and it ends off my commentating for the year. This is my 53rd race I've commentated this year. This includes URS, this includes GSR, every league I've commentated. 53 after this one. So, I'm glad to have everybody join me along. Good evening to everybody, and I'm glad you're tuning in after the World Cup. It is good to have you. What a game that was. But anyway, now into the F2 action. Where a lot is going to unravel today. And when we say a lot, we really do mean a lot. It's going to unravel. Now, whether it's the attendance we expected or not, don't know. However, we still have a champion to be crowned in this final round of F2. Many drivers of which, all within a few points of each other. And many drivers who are in contention are showing up. Some others are not. So that's what makes it interesting, and that's what makes things definitely closer between the pack of cars. Let's go over any penalties to be served, any sort of championship contenders. And for those of you watching, if you know the championship standings, let us know who's going to win it. And then if you don't know the championship standings, once I tell it to you, well, tell us who's going to win it after that one. So, first, before anything else, let's go over penalties to be served. GSR Thrasher has a 10-second time penalty to be served in the feature race. He is not racing today, as he said, so that will mean there will probably be no penalties to be served out of the drivers racing. Chungus said he's going to restart his Wi-Fi really quickly, but anyway. Let's get Calm another invite. Hopefully they can join. I know they're having trouble joining. As for previous races around this track, let's talk about it. Season 1 in this league was the non-current layout. Sam Steed won that one in dominating fashion. Season 3 race, Jeb Bully MSU won on a 2-stop. So we'll have to see how it goes this time around when it comes to any sort of historic moment or any sort of changing moment, because it was Sam Steed leading every single lap, a pole, nearly a grand slam in the season 1 race, and then the season 3 race. Sorry, we did not race here in season 2, and then in the season 3 race though, it was Jab winning it on a 2-stop and a pass within the last couple of laps. Championship standings, let's go over them. Let's just get an invite to a couple others quickly, and then we will be able to go over what is need be. Here we go. Invites are now coming through to some drivers. So we're now able to get some other drivers in. Let's go over our championship standings, and for those of you in chat, good to have you along. The constructors drivers, well, let's go over the constructors first. Why not? Let's make this a little bit different, because the constructors have a lot more a lot more teams in contention with their drivers. And you could see one of them already in here already. Teams. Dams lead the championship at 76 points. This whole weekend, 65 points are on offer. Carlin, 5 points behind at 71. Campos, 70 points, 6 points behind. Virtuosi with Common Pluto, they're 8 points behind. And Prema, 11 points behind. The top 5 covered by 11 points in this championship fight with the constructors. MP Motorsports really prevailed with Beatnik's help last week when he was a reserve. now that he's not a reserve at MP, it's down to their full-time drivers of Aaron O'Connor Foley. They don't really have a likely chance of winning it. So they are on 44 points, 32 back. And they're going to need to utilize the sprint race to get any closer to the front 5 teams in order to have a chance. As for High Tech have 17 points. It's been really Lando Norris this season for High Tech with just scoring points. He's not got a podium. He's not got a race win. He's not really finished super well, but he's just been in the points. And that is what has kept High Tech in it. And High Tech, what they need to do is score pole and get nearly maximum points with the other teams not scoring at all. They need to have at least somebody not score at all, because if Carlin, Dams, Campos, Virtuosi, Prema, if any of them score, they need to either not score a lot or they need to either not score at all. And that's going to depend on what goes on here. High Tech, 17 points. They're 61 behind. No, 59 behind. Excuse me. As for the driver standings, things are even closer there between the 5 drivers in contention. How about Chungus out in front? 65 points for him. Matty, he's 1 behind. He is not racing today. So that now brings us to our next contender of Jab William MSU. 3 points behind. And as for Jab, 62 points. Pluto, he's got 58 points. He is 7 points behind Chungus. And as for Joseph, 5th place in this championship, he is 13 points behind Chungus. Beatnik, 33 points for him. He is not racing today. If for some reason he were to race, he is going to need basically just about the maximum points in order to win it. As for Beatnik, he is the new full-time driver at Dams, so that would be helpful for Dams if, for whatever reason, he does turn up. And here come more of the drivers. Speaking of a bit of the constructors, let's go over some of the constructors. As for Dams, you have in the full-time lineup Chungus and Beatnik. As for Carlin, you have Joseph and Surfy, Campos, Will and Matty, Virtuosi, Pluto and Com, Prema has Jab and Gagi, MP have Aaron and Foley, and High Tech have Lando and Sam. So that is your team to driver lineup. I think everybody here from cross-platform is in. Good to have everybody join us. Let's get things rolling. As for other announcements, there is another announcement coming later on today. This is after the F2. This regards Season 4, for those of you wondering. And a lot of people have been wondering what is going to happen with Season 4. So, wait for after the stream to hear that announcement. That's what I have to say. As for our rest of the drivers, others should be joining us in just a couple of moments. Surfy goes to the Carlin, Will goes to the Campos. Good to have them. And we should be getting maybe 14 in here, I'm going to think, from right now. We still have Pluto yet to join. We still have Joseph yet to join. I know that for sure. As for the others, I don't remember off the top of my head. But everything will launch at 30, so that's good to have and good to know. As for the F2 stream, let me post that on the Twitter. And chat, give us your prediction for who you think is going to win the championship. There's a lot of factors that can go into this thing. If Jab takes pole position in the one-shot qualifying, he would be 1 point within Chungus, and that would be his 3rd pole in a row. And I know a couple people mentioned that there's red bars for people that is supposed to be like that, really, because as for me hosting, well, most of the people in here are from the UK, so that does not help. However, it should be Burning Man hosting the regular lobbies when it comes to next season. And we will be seeing when they lift the trophy, of course, for the World Cup, and we should be going right around then. As for those of you tuning in, let's get the reserves in a car. Joe and Rossi. Let's see. Let me ask what car they should go in. Because that is important as to the constructors teams, because the constructors have a couple of people not here. And what about the previous weeks as well? I mean, there's been a lot that have gone on as to F2. Last week, Maddie and Pluto didn't even score any points. So yeah. Well, in the sprint, I should clarify. But that was big as to how far behind they are now in the championship. Maddie only 1 point off. I know he's not in the lobby, but as for Pluto, missed out on that opportunity, and if he won the Belgian race, he would be tied for the championship lead, I believe. So a lot factors into it. That's for sure. Let's see who else we get invites to. And then let's see what cars reserves join. As for this championship, it is definitely going to be one that goes down to the wire. You know, I think about season 1 with how close people were in the championship between Sam and Pluto. And I think about how close people were at the start of the season. All the way to the end, it became the Sam and Pluto race. I sort of caught up, but I was in Beanix position right now, and High Techs, if you look at the drivers and constructors. And then for season 2, I also look at how it was a 4-way fight then, and it's a 4-way fight now as well. All right, let's get Joseph an invite, and then I think we could. Well, yeah, let's get him an invite, and I think we could be able to go after that. Oh yep, main menu. That's why. I thought he was appeared offline, so that makes sense. And we'll also wait on reserves choosing a car, and we should be good to go. I refuse to start until we see Messi. Well, there you go. Yeah, how about that World Cup? How about that World Cup? That was a good game. I don't usually watch, but I must say, considering that one, may have to start watching a little bit more. We'll see. As for reserve appearances, we have Joe and Rossi in here. Joe making a return. It's good to see him back. Did not make any starts in this F2 as a reserve. Rossi also made a start in Belgium, and he had some pretty good pace. So, we'll watch out for him. We'll watch out if he interferes with this championship in a way where maybe he wins the race and the others have to come behind him. Who knows? Carlin, a big factor for this championship, second place in the standings. I see Joseph mention it, trying to hype up his teammate already, and that's a good thing. You need teammates who are going to be hyped up for this type of event. And as for anyone else, nice one in the chat. Yeah, let's have Rossi and Joe choose a car, and we'll be able to go after that, I think. Well, as for Chungus's sake, I don't know if he's too worried about the team's championship, but the driver's championship, you know, I look at all the points from Dams, and I really think besides Blonde and reserving in Italy, he's done this a lot on his own for Dams. Even taking a look at Carlin, Joseph has 52 points, and Surfy's really come to the rescue in these last couple of races. Belgium sprint, Belgium feature. Both those races ended up with a good result, which helped Carlin take over second in the championship. And Chungus is definitely happy because he has a teammate, and it's ironic how I was mentioning that. And now we have Rossi and the Dams. So, you know what? It will be a pretty fair fight for Chungus. As for Campos, Campos are going to need to do a lot. Campos have Will, and Campos been at 70 points. Yeah, I don't know if they'll win it, but if we have a crazy event, I would not count anybody out. The only one I really would think I'd count out would be High Tech because they have Sam Orlando, and I know we say never, but as for High Tech, they literally have to get maximum points, and I do not see that happening. It's just like me from season 1 in URS. I had to get a win, and I had to have Pluto not score, and Sam not score. Well, Sam could score, but he couldn't score a lot. Pluto could maybe score 1 point. That's about it. So that's really what I needed at that time. So that's how things were. Just waiting for the okay for us to ready up, and then we'll go after that because I know people mentioned about Messi lifting the trophy. So after that is said and done, we'll get things going in just a moment. But let's go over really as to who does not have a teammate and who is not in here car-wise. No Charoos, no Tridents. Speaking of the Tridents, J&T mentioned a last-minute thing at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. So that is as to why he is not here today. As to Polo God fell under the weather. He should be back and going for Season 4. Charoos, Raptor mentioned he may be able to join for the feature race, but after the World Cup family planned dinner, so there was that. Thrasher on vacation, so that is why he cannot join. Burning Man also had something come up last minute, as he mentioned. He's not able to race in the VAR. B-Nick mentioned previously he was not able to be here today, so that's why he's not in the Dams. Also, Maddie and Gagi are also at a similar event to each other, both of them being brothers. Makes sense. ART have Yonder and Rice Cracker. Rice Cracker had something come up that he was made aware of last minute. And as for Yonder, he mentioned earlier in the week that he was going to miss. And I think that's it out of everybody missing. I don't understand why I'm not getting a response for are we able to ready up? Because I want to make sure we're able to ready up. Because I know everyone's talking about we're waiting on Messi lifting the trophy or whatever in F2 chat, but I don't see any admin giving me a confirmation about that. So I need to make sure before anything else goes on. Also waiting on Joe to not change a car, pick a car. If he doesn't, the game might put him in Prema. And that would give Prema a chance in the Constructors' Championship. 11 points behind. Don't count him out. Jab is still there, Say something happens to Chungus, say something happens to Rossi. We have everything right here, points-wise. So we're trying to keep track of it. I'm trying to get confirmation from somebody. I'm getting no word. No word from anybody. So I need to make sure as to what we are doing. Or is this just my computer Wi-Fi not connecting? because that message will not send. Let's check. Let me reload. Oh, well, I did not get those 4 messages, I could tell you that. Oh, this will not load. There we go. Oh no, I did get those 4 messages, they just never popped up. Alright then. Alright, well, I'm waiting on us to ready up, and then, well, figuring out if we're gonna ready up or not, I need to figure out what's going on here. Because I'm not just gonna say ready up, and then people are like, oh, well, we're waiting on the Messi trophy left, or whatever, so, and just waiting a little bit, but while we wait, we're going to talk about that announcement later on today that I mentioned. The announcement earlier today was about Season 4, and it was, well, the first announcement out of 2, I should say. The first announcement was about the season opener for Season 4, starting 4 weeks from now on January 15th. That is the first of 2 announcements. As for the second one, we look back to everything that we've mentioned in the F2 streams. Here and there. Little leaks here and there. I mean, I think everybody knows as to what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to say it directly. That's not right. I'm talking about Season 4 announcement. Later on today, you don't know what tracks they are, but they're signups. Simple as that. I mean, I've basically said it already the last couple of streams without saying it, so there you go. It won't be long till we start, but after the World Cup and everything, it's no surprise that there's been at least a little bit of a delay. So, as for the season itself, we will make more of these delays ahead of time, if that makes sense. The World Cup one, we knew it was going to start the World Cup, but we did not expect the World Cup to go this long, so it makes total sense as to why things are backed up, and it makes total sense as to why the attendance is at least down a little bit. It's better than what I thought it'd be, so I'm not complaining, and I don't want to complain about it. There's no need to complain about it. It's bound to happen. But, yeah. Should be about a little less than 2 minutes, from what Foley said. But, anyway. Once that is done, we'll go over a bit of our championship scenarios that we could have after this qualifying session. Drivers mentioning what they could have done in this time. Well, yeah, we did not know that it was gonna be like that. As to any sort of place. Will said I should race today as we've got low numbers. Well, we need somebody to stream the F2 finale. It would be nice, but you know, the thing for me is would I like to do F2? Yes, I would. I think I'd be a bit better than a couple of the people in here. I know that's probably a little bit of a shout. I'm not too great with F2, but the point I'm making though is, as for the stream itself and as for the finale itself, look at the championship scenario we got. We have to have somebody stream it. We have to have viewers watch it, and today is the day for a champion to be crowned. And just like the World Cup, it will be F2. Team champion and a driver champion. So that'll be nice to have. We should be getting going in just a moment. They said it should be a minute. Anyway, once Joe chooses a car, two, that'd be helpful as to getting going, because for the constructor wise, we'll know who he's racing for, and we'll know if it's a Prema, if it's a Campos, you know, how much of a difference that can make if he scores any points. You know, that could maybe make the difference between second, third, fourth, and even if it's a chaotic race, it could make the difference between fifth and sixth, or even first. Who knows what happens in this race? There's a lot that will unfold, and we'll have to watch out for it. As for the Season 4 announcement later on today, please watch out for that. That'll not be live streamed, but that will be announced in the Discord server. As for stuff that has been previously mentioned, you have to set fresh times if you're going to do the time trials and sign up for Season 4. That is a big thing. We cannot have people set old times and say, here you go. And here's why that is. You look back at, like, I don't know, let's say August in the game. Let's use Rowdy for an example. Rowdy might be faster in his times in August, and he might have got slower since then, or faster. So if he uses those times, that would be an inaccurate representation of how fast he is now, and that'd be unfair. And you know what? It kind of also maybe prevents some sort of sandbagging as to, like, hey, let's submit old times. There's people who have done that, and there is people who did that in Season 3, so we have to be very aware of... I would say more so we have to be aware of the times that are submitted. Are they that driver's pace? How far are they off others? You know, that is it normal? Or is it their actual pace? You know, that's a considerable thing as well that we have to wonder out for. As for the viewers, stay tuned. We'll be starting in just a moment, as mentioned. The big thing for Campos, and you know, let's go over some of our storylines. The big thing for Campos is obviously Maddie is not here. We know that already. But will have to contribute a lot for points in order to keep Campos in this fight. And, you know, I think it was mentioned in the championship scenario things, the top 5 regardless in the championship will still be eligible for the feature race. So that is one thing that will have to be mentioned. And we will watch out for. And we will be starting in just 1 minute here. I'm going to write down the rest of the lineups. I just have to do Prema, MP, and High Tech, and we're good. I have to make sure on who's in what car, so it helps instead of just not remembering. There we go. Written down. Done. All right, let's get things underway for F2. And Sam has already given me the hurry up. Here goes everybody readying up. And this finale is one that, you know, maybe either anticlimactic or very climatic with how long we have had to wait. We'll see what car I get plunked into. I like Joe doing that. That's very interesting. You know, and that's one thing we'll have to watch out for. If he gets put in a Campos, it's going to depend on his pace if that helps him, but that's at least 2 cars they have. Same for Prema. That Prema has jab, so, you know, really this whole season, besides Blonde's performance in Italy, Chungus has done it on his own. Take a look at Campos. Campos 64 to the 70 points. Will got 6, but still, Will has had signs of speed. And he's got unlucky. You can say the same about Comet Virtuosi. Virtuosi, do not doubt them at all. A lot is going to go on in this championship fight, and here we go for the final qualifying session of URS F2 and of 2022. Many different pole sitters throughout the year, many different pole sitters throughout F2, and I know you can't really say many different for F2 with Jab getting 2, but it's not like one guy's completely got all 3 poles. So that is the big key to note. In Season 3, we saw different pole sitters throughout the season. Different guys starting on front rows. You had up to 11 different pole sitters throughout the season. Season 2 had a ton. Ricecracker was the only one who got more than 1, I believe, in that 7-race season. And Season 1 had about 5 or 6 different pole sitters. Aaron Ocon was the one who broke that Ferrari streak at the end. And in F2, Jab and Joseph, the 2 pole sitters. Here we go for the final F2 qualifying session of the season. And is now Ryan Chungus in this championship. They virtuoso herself. It is starts second. High Tech in a race that they need to score maximum points. They are 3rd and 6th. Sam Steed is 2nd, 3rd of the season. It's going pretty well so far. Three-tenths separated Jab and Chungus. So you know Jab's pace in order to win this championship is going to be quite interesting. His 1-lap pace, pretty good. But is his race pace similar? He's now on the same level as Maddie after that qualifying session and 11 points on offer in this one. Sam, Joseph, Pluto round out the top 5. Those are some of your championship contenders right there. All the championship contenders who are racing today are inside the top 5 in qualifying. And I there with the stream Chungus, no worries as to that. There's no lag, because it seemed like in qualifying from the stream point of view there was lag. I hope there's no lag on the driver's side. If there is, that'll be a big concern as to this championship. I hope it wasn't because of how long we waited either. In the construction, in the lobby, in the driver, good mind, and being start what he wants, you know, the before start to see here. Well, there get what I'm gonna need. I think. And exactly what Sam said. Everyone join as quick as possible. I'm going to fix something quickly before I set up the new lobby, and this will take about 1 minute.